Hello, students. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to this new series of Sociology Optional. In my previous lectures, I have completed the topic of commercial revolution, cultural revolution. In this lecture, I will deal with the French Revolution and the Industrial Revolution and what are the impact of this revolution, either in a positive impact, either negative impact. So both impact we will see here, and today I will complete this topic, the topic number one, which is the emergence of sociology in Europe and the social changes in the Europe. So how this sociology has emerged. So now let us uh, move forward with the next topic, which is French Revolution. French Revolution. So first of all, the French Revolution. After French Revolution, what happened? The political structure of French society was substantially transformed. Means it was substantially changed. You have already read about French Revolution in your world history part. So how French Revolution happened, who were the different that personality you have heard about in French Revolution, like Louis 15, 16. So various personality you have heard about how it transformed the society. So but in sociology part we will not deal with that historical that dates and figures. Here we will simply learn about the what were the impact of this French Revolution on the political structure, on the economical structure, on the social structure. So what happened, the after the French Revolution, the changes we will see here. First of all, here what changes happened, that monarchy was abolished. Monarchy was overthrown, it was abolished, and democracy was set up. Democracy was set up. Democracy was set up over the period of time. So this process is called, when monarchy was abolished and democracy was set up over the period, this process is called democratization. So these terms you have to remember: democratization. So monarchy was abolished and democracy was set up. By abolishing the monarchy, this process is called democratic. But it does not happen substantially, or you can say that radically. Over period of time, when monarchy was abolished, there was a chaos in the society also, that how further the the society will be ruled, what laws will be made, who will, how the persons will be elected, so that the rules will be made so that everyone can follow. So it was a overall a gradual process. So it's a process is called democratization. Now what happened in the economic aspect? This was the political aspect. In the economic aspect, what changes happen, that we have to see. In economic aspect, what the society who were controlling the society, like clergy. I have taught you also in earlier lecture that there's the society in Western society was divided, or they were characterized. They were that divided in three parts: first estate, second estate, third estate. So clergy, feudal lords, and monarchs. monarchs so their monopoly, these who were consisting of first estate, second estate, their monopoly over land. Because earlier first of all, when the society was not developed, that technological advancement was not there. So at that time the agriculture system was prevalent. People were mainly dependent on agriculture, and you know that for agriculture, land is a big asset. So the feudal lords, they were controlling the property which they were controlling. So they were monopolizing the economic system. So the monopoly was abolished of these groups: first estate, second estate. So these were the economic changes. And also, now what happened, from when the economic system changes, then these gets converted into means gets transformed into capitalist class. means capitalist class took over these that economic systems. How they took over, like the factory system were developed. When the factory systems will be developed, or you can say then production process happen, then land is required. But yes, overall the labor has some kind of you can say liberty. Here what happened in feudal lords, you have to work. If you are belonging to the third estate, then you have to work under feudal lords. Either they will pay, either they will not pay. But yes, in capitalist systems, labor system happen exploitation. We will see later on that there were also negative consequences. There was also very much you can say that negative consequences, also positive impact were also there of capitalist system. We will see later on. So capitalist systems classes developed, and after capitalist classes develops, and mainly these lords only, when they started seeing that yes, now the society is moving, means now society has become the open society, they are trading with the outside world, then obviously they started focusing more on this production process, setting up industries. So these kinds of things get developed there. Now capitalist systems have, where the social capitalist system developed, where capitalist classes and new classes get developed. Capitalist classes, these classes emerged, capitalist classes. Now this economic system, we have now social stratification, which is how social sphere were affected. Social stratification, in social stratification system, state system, which I have talked earlier, state system that was abolished. In social stratification, that system, social stratification system, the state system is not STAT, it ESTAT, state system abolished. State system abolished. After that, the position of middle class, that new classes emerged, the middle class, who were mainly consisting of merchants, traders. So that bankers, lawyers, manufacturers, their positions got strengthened. So these class developed. See, state system abolished, these feudal lords, these clergy systems, though their monopoly got abolished. And now the new classes, that is the middle classes, the new middle classes that get developed. Middle classes get new middle classes emerged. Which middle classes we are talking about? Bankers, merchants, lawyers. 1 minute. Lawyers and various different classes, manufacturers, lawyers, so etc. These classes got developed. Now they were controlling the main trading sector, they were controlling the mainly the economic sector. So now the dominance of the monopoly of the feudal classes, the monopoly of the clergy classes, get that got declined, or you can say that got abolished in a due course of the time. Now, so by the French Revolution, ideological changes also happen. Now, ideological changes also. So in this only, these ideological changes, we have seen that political system how changed, how the economic system changed, how the social system changed. Now ideological systems also get, ideological systems also get. Ideology means what? A thinking process, a thought process, how the people are thinking, the creativity, that kind of things emerged. Like ideological system, where you have also read about different scholars, philosophers in your political theory part also, where you have heard about French French philosophers who are very great philosophers, French philosophers, French philosophers. They are various different French philosophers, but great philosophers who were mainly at that time, at time of French Revolution. That I am naming here Rousseau, and this name you can also mention in your GS answer when you are writing a essay answer also. Then these thinkers you can mention their thoughts, how these thoughts you will observe, you can see in your constitution also. It constitution is also based on these thoughts only. They also form a basic structure, a basic framework of the constitutions on which the society is based. Like Rousseau, Roussea, Rousseau, Montesquieu, Montesquieu, Voltaire, 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 etc. So how they proposed a new ideas, how the new ideas they proposed, which ideas they proposed, that you have to remember, like what Rousseau has proposed. Rousseau has proposed about uh, sovereignty. Don't you know that independent nations, no one is dominating on our nations. We are independent, like in the colonial time also, that dominant systems was there, means dominance. We have seen that dominion state kind of, you have seen in that in Nehru report also, the dominion systems they were asking. So in British means the head of the state is a monarchy system, means internal they are controlling, but the here the controlling is happening with some other nations, or monarchy systems are mainly heading. So and sovereign means we are independent of the other nations, we are independent of your thoughts, you take your own decisions, no one is interfering in your decision process, in your policy process, or you get your governing process. So that is the sovereignty. So he has talked about the Rousseau has talked about the sovereignty, and he says that the sovereignty lies in the people. Sovereignty lies in the people. Therefore, people's will is supreme in the society. Sovereignty lies in the people. Therefore, 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 people's will. This line you should remember, because in any GS answers where is it talking about the governance, where is talking about the constitution, or you can say that any policy, if analyzing of any policy, then you can mention these points also. So sovereignty lies in the people, therefore people's will or general will is supreme in the society. It's supreme in the society. And what Voltaire has talked about. Voltaire. Voltaire has proposed the idea of individual freedom. Individual freedom. I am writing in the pointed form. When you are making your own notes, then please explain these parts. So it will, when I'm writing in a pointed form, then yes, one point, second point, third point. If you will explain these parts in a comprehensive manner, then obviously 5 lines, 6 lines you can easily explain by giving the examples also. So I'm writing here points. If I will start writing everything, then obviously video will be also lengthy, and syllabus will also not get completed in a time man. In time it will not be get completed. So here individual freedom, he had talked about individual freedom, he has talked about individual rights. See, at that time, at means French Revolution 1789, at that time 18th century, they are talking about these rights. Today also, many countries are there, they have not means given these kinds of rights also. Today also many citizens are fighting in our country also. Recently, not very much time has passed. Recently we have given this transgender right also. So they were also not getting that kind of individual right, they were also not getting that kind of individual freedom. So today also many vulnerable sections of society are fighting for these rights. Either you will get at the lower sections of society, who are placed at lower sections, which are people are means various vulnerable sections of the society, and many countries are there today also in African country. They are mainly fighting with this these kinds of right. They are not given, they are not getting these kinds of basic rights. And at that time you can see how much that philosophers has talked about these rights at that time. So that society was very much progressive at that time. And so progression at that time also, only you can see this society which we see on the Western world, they are very much developed world, they also. So these first of all, that ideological changes only bring about certain changes in society. If people are not having that ideological thoughts, that thought process is not clear, what to do next, what rights should be given to the people, then how any society will develop, you know. So these kinds of rights, Voltaire has talked individual freedom, individual right, and he also talks about freedom of speech and expressions, which are very much in the news also today, also in India also. And in newspaper also we have already read someone is saying that they are that their rights are getting abrogated, their rights are getting violated of that speech and expressions. So and various laws are also made on this, so that there is restrictions also, reasonable restrictions also. So freedom of speech and expression, freedom of speech and expression. He also advocated for, he also talked about secularization. We will learn these terms in very detail, because in sociology syllabus itself, a separate topics is there of that, separate topics are mentioned in the syllabus for secularization. So we will discuss this in detail in by definition also, what definition you should write, and what are the various that forms of secularization in Western world we will see, in India we will compare. So comparison we will also do, and we will also see about its that impact, how secularizations functions in different society in differently. So secularization, from here only which comes religious tolerance. So see how today also these things are very much important, these things are very much important for the societal development, for the nation development also. So that the visionary, how much visionary those thinkers were, those philosophers were. So today also we are reading about them. Now coming to the Rousseau we have discussed, Voltaire we have discussed. This much point only you should discuss, because it is not your philosophy optional, or you can say that there you have to read them very, you can say that comprehensively. And here briefly you should remember, yes, different points, yes, what Voltaire has contributed, what you can say that Rousseau has contributed, what ideas they have proposed. Now coming to the that Rousseau we have discussed, Voltaire we have discussed. Now coming to Montesquieu. Montesquieu. Montesquieu has proposed that there should not be concentration of power and authority at one place. Simply, this line means that separation of power. Separation of power. Today also in India we are seeing, and there is always a debate, a political debate only, that yes, someone is infringing your right, or it is always in the news that yes, that judiciary is overtaking the role of legislature, judiciary is taking the role of that, overtaking the role of executive. So uh, we come frequently this we come across these news very much frequently, that how separation of power is very much essential. It's also creates a checks and balance on the other institutions also. So separation of power is very much important things, and various means in many countries have adopted this idea, and they have that mentioned in the constitution also, and they are you can say that they are in their policies formation, and different kinds of that in governance also, they are considering this idea. The separation of power is very much essential, like executive, judiciary, legislatures. Because when you are concentrated with power, earlier what was happening, the monarchical system, in monarchical system, authoritarian regime, what was happening, that the power was concentrated in one hand. Rules was also made by that king. Then rule who was not following that those rules, who was not complying with those rules, then the punishment, what punishment those people will get, that were also decided by those kings, those monarchs only. So this concentration of powers creates a kind of you can say that authoritarian regime. This creates a kind of a corruption kind of a thing. So you can say separation of powers is very much effective in governing the society. So separation, he has talked about the separation of power. He has talked about the liberty of individual. liberty is very much uh, you have also read in, and that its meaning is very much you can say that uh, subjective kind of a word. uh, some certain books give certain meanings, and UPSC also asks these questions in that what is the best definitions, how means what best can that inferences of liberty, what best definitions can consist this liberty term. So liberty of liberty to individual, negative liberty, positive liberty, liberty to individual. So these things, these three philosophers I have discussed, they have talked about. Now, one philosopher is there, that is John Locke. He's also a very important, very great philosopher, John Locke. John Locke. He has talked about the idea of fundamental rights. Fundamental rights is very much important theme of our constitution, fundamental rights. So he has talked the ideas, he has proposed the ideas of fundamental rights. Fundamental rights to the people. He has also talked about the fundamental rights to the people, which cannot be taken away by the state. So the rights which are not taken by the states. Obviously, fundamental rights you have read in your Lakshmikant also in your polity classes also, that which fundamentals are read there, and how it is you can say that negative rights on a state means if you in any fundamental rights is getting violated, then obviously you can move to the courts, uh, and courts can listen your that grievances. They can also resolve. So this fundamental rights to the people they have talked about. So this much you have to remember in this topic, that French Revolution in modern social changes. What changes? Now coming to the next topic in this itself, the emergence of sociology only. Here we will deal with the industrial revolution and modern social changes. What is industrial revolution? Industrial revolution, and what changes happen due to this industrial revolution, that we will see here. Industrial revolution and modern social changes. So see, industrial revolution, it started in the mid of 18th century in England. First of all, industrial revolution started in the mid of 18th century in 18th century in 18th century in England. And what is the industrial revolution? Industrial revolution means a new production process. Earlier, when human were producing anything, then they were making manually using hands. But in industrial revolution, what happened then? That machines replaces human that manual work. So that machines, and it also produces the products on large numbers. It also produces the products in large quantity, goods and services. So industrial revolutions only that it's facilitated the trade systems, because when you are trading with other country, when you are trading outside your society, then what happens, then product, then demand also increases. Then for increasing demand, that manual labor kind of things, you can't produce more and more number of items, more and more number of goods and services. So machines gets invented, new machines got invented, growth of trade and commerce, it lead to increase in demand of goods for trade. So though existing domestic production which were existing earlier, that was not sufficient in fulfilling these demands. Therefore new inventions, new innovations started in European society. As a result of this, what happened, that invention and innovations, new mode of production developed first in England and then other parts of Europe. You have read about that, what that spinning earlier, the that fabric was getting spin by using manual labor by hand. Earlier when spinning, that machines came, then more fabric, more cloth production and more textile industry also grow. So, after industrial revolution, what happened? The substantial changes also happened due to this that production process. So and what transformation happened we will see here. So there were transformation in social and social changes in European society, and there were that were visible in every sphere, like in the economic sphere, political sphere, in social sphere, educational sphere. See, in every topic that you are learning in sociology, so you have to remember the sectoral line, because randomly you can't pick any things from anywhere and you write the answers. No, you have to think in a sectoral line. If you are talking about anything in sectoral line, then first of you have to talk about political sphere, you have to talk about the economic sphere, you have to talk about the educational sphere. So different sphere you will create, then it will be very easy to write you. And there also, if you will write example, then it will be you will get more marks there. So so remember these kinds of in GS topics, these themes are very much important. How you are dividing those themes, and at last you are putting the conclusions by merging those themes and giving suggestions. So here what is happening, what happened, the changes we will see here. So let's see the changes, industrial revolution, because the industrial revolution, French revolution, you that timelines, that historical background, or what made those changes, that you will that is the part of your world history. So here only I will deal with the impact of that industrial revolution, what impact it created and what changes happened in the society, either in negative changes or the positive changes. So consequences we will discuss here. So changes in economy, what happened, you have seen only in, means it is similar to that of a commercial revolution, because both are you can say simultaneously happening. Commercial revolution, when trade is boosting, then obviously demand is increasing. The demand increasing, so obviously that uh, that production process is increasing, then machines are getting invented, more and more goods are produced, more and more goods are sold, profit is increasing. So these types of economy are going to come, and today also this is happening. Demand is increasing, supply is increasing. So demand, supply, these kinds of situations happen. So change in economy happen from feudal economic production system to capitalist. So first of all, in economic perspective, we will see then what changes happen from feudal economic system, feudal economic production system, feudal economic production system. It got changed into capitalist economic system, capitalist economic system. We will read about this topic capitalism in very detail, and you will also enjoy by reading this topic, and you will also uh, you can say compare this capitalism from the today's world's perspective, also how the today capitalism are working, how the capitalists today are you can say that influencing the decisions of a persons. So different forms of capitalism we will read in detail in in Karl Marx chapter. So and Karl Marx is very that great scholars, great thinkers. He has written very much that comprehensively about the capitalism system. Mainly he has dealt on capitalist systems. He had criticized very much of capitalist system also. So capitalism, capitalist economic system. Now second thing what happened, that a new class of capitalist or bourgeoisie, capitalist is also known as bourgeoisie, emerged. Economic that dominance of the capitalist system started. So dominance has started, then the factories were set up, then production processes started on a large scale. So labors were required, and the labors were working on the you have known that clergy system where the feudal lords were there, so they were working on the feudal lords land. So when the factory system has started, then labor started moving towards the factory, towards the urban, towards urbanization developed in this way only, toward the factory. So migration happens, so proletariat class there. So we will deal with this topic also, proletariat class. So they are simply the bourgeoisie and proletariat. These are the terms if you are using working classes in your GS answer, then in that sociology you use this term proletariat and bourgeoisie, because these terms are provided or given by these thinkers only. These the sociological thing also, bourgeoisie simply means capitalist class, proletariat, labor classes. So proletariat class, bourgeoisie class is a labor working class, as you can say, labor class, working class, who are working in the factory on the mere amount of wages, not that amount of wages where they can sustain, you can say that, uh, means they can sustain for their basic needs only, they can fulfill their basic needs only, not more than that. So that kind of wages they were given at that time. So, although the proletariat class emerged as important and indispensable, indispensable means what? Important, means which can't be ignored. The class in the capitalist economy, but they were exploited a lot because they were given very much less wages. And what the wages they were given, and on in how much prices the products were that sold in the market, that differences which the profit that were getting that were taken by capitalist classes. So capitalist classes grows in a huge, you can say that, profit margins were very high and capitalist classes gain very much. So their you can say that profit also increases, their capital increases, but this proletariat class they remain poor and poor only because their wages were very mere amount of wages. That substance, you can say, the subsistence kind of living, they it was means basic needs only they can fulfill, not more than that. Leisure times they were not enjoying. They have to work more and more number of times. Child labor also gets that labor system also emerged at that time because the factory needs more and more labor because production process were more. So here these things happen. So these were the negative impacts, you can say. So and what it is saying that there's earlier what was happening, that when the production process was a kind of a manual labor were doing by their hands, then creativity were reflecting in the products. If you are comparing the machines, and if you are comparing machines, and we are comparing that any manual labor by hand, is by hand. So what is happening that if certain clothes you are weaving, you are weaving, then in machines you have not to weave the clothes. You are simply put the fabric, and that automatically it will that make the clothes. But in hand you are having some creativity. You made some different products. Here what one systems you will install, it will create products, multiple products, in very that minimum number of times also, and it will be every products will be similar. So there will be a similar products, no creativity will be there. Similar products, no that labor creativity, that the workers who were finding a kind of a pleasure in these things, doing by this activity, they are finding a leisure kind of that things in doing this activity. Now they are simply that switching the machines, switching on, switching off, this kinds of thing. So that systems got, so they were deprived. Also alienation systems, also alienation means what, a kind of a alienation means kind of a normlessness, means you are means alienated, getting detached from your own product only, your production process only, your work only. Like some, you can see by, you can understand by example as, like like some persons who are doing the work in any office or in any industry, but they do not want to do their work. मजबूरी में काम करना, that is called alienation. अब मजबूरी में अगर आप काम कर रहे हैं, तो आप पैसा तो कमा रहे हैं, you are getting the money in return of your work. But what is happening that in certain that over period of time you get exhausted by your work. You do not uh, develop the interest in your work, and that is process is called alienations. A kind of frustration, you can say, that kind of things were like. So so these changes, these the changes, what the thinkers have also studied these changes. So to write these changes, no earlier, no any discipline, no any subject was there which who can talk about these changes, as how the labor are getting exploited, what are the alienation process, how they can means certain reforms should be there so that they do not get alienated. So these terms, or you can say these kinds of subjects, topics were not being discussed by any discipline. So this also led to the emergence of sociology. It also led to emergence of sociology. So these were the things in industrial revolutions. More we will read these things in later chapters, in work in economic part also, in that Karl Marx part also. There he will talk about industrial things only, how the industries develop, what are the alienation process, and there are different kinds of alienation, always alienation from self, alienation from self product, अपने आप से भी alienation हो जाना, और प्रोडक्ट से भी एलिनेशन हो जाना, जो प्रोडक्ट हमने बनाया उससे भी एलिनेशन हो जाना, प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस से भी एलिनेशन हो जाना. So we will see these things, and it is very important things also. You will enjoy by reading those topics also. And that one thing also I've talked only, that when factory system got established, then yes, large number of peasant farmers, they started migrating from the village area to that factory area where the factory was set up. So factory industrial, and that's where the industrial urban settlements happen. So horizontal mobility was there at that time. So that yes, so horizontal means not on in one generation only. From one generation they are working in field, and after a direct they are working in that factory system. But their feudal lords also, they were exploiting, so they thought that yes, these systems, the factory systems, can they will get a good life, they will not be exploited. But these things don't does not happen, their life do not improve further also. So they get pauperized, they get pauperized, PAUPRIGC. See, these terms are that first of many students will come across these terms first time. So these terms you should, if you will, means by reading the topics when syllabus will be completed, obviously, of course, you will that these terms will get internalized in your memory part of only. That popularized system. So popularized means becoming poor and poor. So how popularized? Because of low wages, high cost of living in urban settlement. Because in urban settlements, everything you have to purchase, either of food, water, sanitation facility also you are not getting. Then everything is you have to purchase, rent. So today also you can see this is the manifestations where you can see the slum area. They're also part of these things only, that low wages they are getting, not that much you can say a skill level are there. So they are not getting good wages, so they live in slum area. Their conditions is very much pathetic, you have seen only. So they were forced to work in and live in deprived, unhygienic conditions. So many scholars and intellectuals, they recognize this poverty and deprivation of the workers as a social fact, not a natural facts. It's not that the God has sent you and you have become poor people. No, yes, you have born in poor family, but it's a society, these societal structures. Those scholars does not blame this natural factor that they have that created this poverty kind of situation. No, these the social factors, how the wages that were kept very much low so that the capitalist can maximize more profits, get more profits. The capitalists were increasing day by day, their profits were increasing, but the proletariat class, the labor classes, they were depriving day by day. So that popularization process started that further. So they were their health systems that were not good. So see, means the conditions were deteriorating day by day. So these kinds of things. So to study these kinds of mm, things, or these kinds of effects, what the industrial evolution, and mainly you can they have studied these negative impacts on the consequences only, what consequences they have uh, created the society. So this new discipline emerged as sociology. So this was the topic about that industrial evolution. And here scientific revolution I have talked only that how the these machines have been invented, what the physics, chemistry, biology, how the Herbert Spencer, Auguste Comte, they have they got inspired by those natural laws, those the inventions, and they created a new that uh, topic, a new that discipline, a new subject, that is sociology. So this was the first part of that emergence of sociology and sociology in Europe. So this topic I have completed here, and I think I've completed in a very lucid manner, and not that English also I have not used that here also, means in general English I have taught you here. So here first topic we have deal with the modernity and social change in Europe and emergence of sociology. So you can, I will put these topics, these notes of these topics in on my Telegram channel. You all are aware of that Telegram channel, that is quality GS classes, quality GS classes. Here I will put the notes of these and IGNU notes I will put, and yes, not all the topics, because in IGNU also very much topics are given. So the topics which I have taught and which are important for your that optional paper, and which are mentioned in your syllabus part. So that topics, because UPSC is mainly focusing on syllabus. If one two questions they are asking from outside, that does not that and, define your faith or your faith in examination, because that question also you can deal with these topics only. Within a current affairs question they are asking in option, then also that theory part you have to write this only, but you have to link with it current affairs also. So linkages are very much important, backward linkage, other forward linkages. So this I will do. So I will come with the next topic later on, which is the scope of this subject. This is also a this every year one two questions, either means minimum one questions comes from this, either comparison with the economy, comparison with political science, political science, or anthropology, or different kind of discipline. Here I will teach you in the next classes. So do watch these classes properly. If you do not understand, then please you can also send me a message on lecture, and you can also comment on the in the comment box. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.